Hey, what's up, YouTube? Welcome to Play It Painted Live. It is time for yet another feed, and once again, we are starting later than we normally plan. I'm going to fire things up here on our side, and then we're just going to minimize that. Got to keep the comments for you commenters. So I'll go over what we're going to paint tonight. We don't have a set agenda per se. However, we may be having some guests on, and I'm just getting everything squared away. It's been a while since I've actually done live painting. Isn't that weird? I think the past couple of feeds, like, it's been all hit and miss for me, and there wasn't a whole lot of live painting going on. And frankly, you know, I'm just finishing up the May Painting Challenge. Actually, yesterday was the last official day, but I still had a couple of projects in queue, a couple of commissions. And so that's what you're looking at on the table right now. And so I'm going to show these to you. I know I went over them in my last video. These are the Terminator, the 1984 Terminator miniatures. And I believe these are by Warlord Games. Did the priming and initial airbrushing and shading. They're going to paint up pretty quick from here because there's not a whole lot of detail on these guys. They wear a lot of like blues and blacks and browns. That's Phil wishing me to have a good show. So I'm going to say thanks. But yeah, these miniatures they've been a bit of a disappointment. Hopefully they look cool when they're done. I don't know. It'd probably take about 2 to 3 hours left of painting left on these guys. But we are not going to be working on these tonight. Yes, this is a commission. I need to get it done, but this is not one of the things we're going to be getting tonight. This is actually the resin Kyle Reese, or not Kyle Reese, John Connor. And that's a great looking sculpt. Like, that's a good sculpt. The metal kit, not so good. Not so good. So we are not working on these guys tonight. The other thing I'm not working on tonight is I'm not working on this awesome mini, as much as I love this mini and can't wait to work on it. This is for me. This is the limited edition Flint for Guild Ball. It's a resin miniature, very fun, amazing pose. He's gigantic, though, compared to the rest of the Masons team. So it's going to be interesting. Also, not working on him tonight. Hey, look, Troy Perez is first. Tonight, we're going to be working on this guy. Okay, this is Corsair. Hey, look, Corsair has 2 eyes. For some reason, I was thinking he had a patch. This is Corsair. Season 2 captain for the Fish. So this is tonight's model, and we're gonna get going on him. I used a base stamp here for the wooden planks, and you can see I'm already kind of like I did the airbrush work on the model, and so we're gonna just pick up on this guy. Okay, so that's the model for tonight. I'm gonna put all this other stuff away. May have, like I said, we may get Callan on. We may get Michael Fortino from Armada Games on to talk some Guild Ball with us. Because why not? Like, that seems to be the topic that we can always hop on and talk about. The feed lately is Guild Ball. And, you know, Guild Ball on the brain, strong, all that stuff. And I've been playing a lot. We can recap Strategicon GameX, which happened this past weekend, which is kind of my joke for the title of this stream. Pretzelgate is what I'm calling it because of the my run-in with the hotel staff over at Strategicon GameX, which has been it's unfortunate because I do like Strategic Convention. And what happened was rather unfortunate. It is, and it should not reflect on the convention itself. It really shouldn't. It should reflect on it. The blame lands solely and squarely on the hotel staff. All right, so let's get some colors out for these guys. Hey, what's up, David Love? If you guys are doing any painting tonight, let me know. Interested in finding out what other people are working on. And I'm like, there's an ant on my, like, eating. Is the ant like eating the putty? Like plastic putty? Interesting. Why is there an ant on there? Anyway, let's get some more colors out. I believe, what do I use? I gotta remember what colors I use for these fishies. I believe that's a highlight color. There's usually some sort of brown involved. Oh, yeah, looks like it's like a skin tone. So Corsair is kind of a he's kind of a darker skinned character. So we're gonna work on some darker skin for him. This is the wood color. I think this is the color I'm using for the actual planks. I just don't remember. That's wrong. That's wrong. I always use beige brown. So yeah, I mean, it was still a fun weekend. Don't get me wrong. We still got to play Guild Ball. Unfortunately, we had like a massive, massive flake out with regards to the Saturday tournament. And it's got me thinking about whether or not Strategicon is really ready for a sanctioned tournament scene for Guild Ball. I'm starting to believe it's not. I don't think because Guild Ball isn't sold by any of the vendors there currently, and because Guild Ball California is really just starting to take root, I don't think we're quite ready for like the full sanctioned event up in anywhere north of, say, San Diego at this point. So there's that. So this is a good light brown. That's actually a pretty good skin tone for a highlight there. Is there anything else on this model? There's not a whole lot of different colors on this model that I have to worry about. Oh, I probably need some yellow ochre, though, because you always need yellow ochre. If you always need yellow ochre, you always need Iraqi sand. So you're going to find Iraqi sand. Golden yellow is a good color, too. Maybe we can use golden yellow instead. Let's do that. All right. First up, let's work on some eyes. And I'm going to get in real close here. And then, like I said, we may bring on some guests to talk later. Actually, you know what? Let's just shoot out the. I'll shoot out the invites now and see if anyone wants to hop on. Let's see. I don't know why Facebook reads. It's like so slow when you. Kellen. Let's see if Kellen's gonna hop on. Okay. Thanks for bearing with me, guys. So I'm gonna leave that for Kellen. We'll see if he hops on. And let's just keep the painting rolling. All right. Oh, there's also, I need one more color before I get started. There's that teal color that I use to paint the base. Actually, you know what, I'll just, there it is. Okay, and I need some glaze medium, and I need some flow improver. All right, let's go ahead and do this and this. So if you guys are you guys not painting anything right now, or? I know what we could talk about right now, which we should talk about. You should talk a little bit about the discontinuation of Eldorado. Where that is, right? Eldorado, one of my all-time favorite miniature games. I consider it one of the best pure skirmish games out there. I'm concerned, I really do. I think Eldorado is one of the. It's a game that was ahead of its time. Has incredible fluff. It's got a solid rule set. It's got really, really cool miniatures, compelling storyline. But yeah, what a shame. What a shame. Let's see. Starting a box of Shattered Sword starters for Relic Knights. Cool. And I was going to paint some stuff, but got busy being an eBay king, selling lots of my unused gaming stuff, old Warhammer books. Awesome. Yeah, I also have been a kick recently. In fact, I have 2 auctions going right now. One is a Malifaux Guild Crew, which I didn't paint. It's actually my friend painted them. Bought them. There are a few of the models in there that are not painted, but he did a great job on the. So that's on eBay right now. And then I have some of my Batman heroes on there because I'm paring down Batman because we're not playing much of it. So I was gonna. So Relic Knights, that's cool. That's starter box. So what was that? That's like 5 Swordsworn, Francis Mallory. You get the bird, and 2 Paragons, I believe, right? That's cool. I recently got a couple of the newer Relic Knights miniatures. The Starship, which is the Radiant unique squad. Should be pretty fun. These are great like resin kits. So really gonna enjoy painting that. Let's see. David Left says also HistoricCon convention this month. 1-day trip to hit the Gamers Flea Market. Nice. Everybody's kind of in sell mode right now, so if you're looking to get into a game for cheap, this might be the time to do it. Pop, sorry, in July. Troy Perez says your eBay auctions have been blowing up. I noticed your last team sold immediately from Buy It Now. Yeah, I think that was a little bit of a backfire because as soon as the Mortician sold, I was getting messages like, "Hey man, I would have went in like what now?" So I may actually paint up instead of moving on to some other teams. I may actually go back and paint up either a second Morticians team because those seem to be in demand, or another Hunters. We'll see. It's funny, but this Corsair is a commission as well. This is actually from. It's a commission from the guy that bought my Fisherman team. You know, Corsair was not part of that team, and so he sent me a Corsair to paint with the fish. And I've never actually painted Corsair, so typically I do not. I don't take commissions this small. You know, the guy he's an eBay customer, and you know, he's a good buyer, and you know, I wanted to paint the Corsair model, so everybody wins in this instance. Yeah, time to raise the Buy It Now price. Exactly. When I paint my next team, is probably going to be Brewers. I will raise the Buy It Now price. Also because tartans. I'm a little bit anxious about painting tartans. and how long of that's going to extend my turnaround time on painting these. Got it. All right. So right now we're just painting the eyes in on Corsair. I went like dead silent there just to get that eyeball in. Let's see. Oh, check your eBay stuff and do a lot of auctions this month. A $50 max for eBay fees for June. You might have the same deal. Nice. I don't think I have the same deal, but I am planning on doing a lot of eBay auctions this month, mainly because my wife is on summer vacation, and while it's great that she's home with our little boy and she's pregnant right now, that's awesome. But you know, now we're just living off my paycheck, so it's good to have a little bit extra money coming in. And frankly, I do want to be more frugal about my hobby, especially with the second kid on the way. I want to have I want to feel more comfort in that, enjoying a hobby, but I'm also, not taking money from my family. Do you use Bartertown? I do not use Bartertown. I've never used Bartertown. I'm interested, but no, I've never done that. I think it's obviously it's more risky than eBay. Necessarily a bad thing, Hey, what's up, Cameron? Painting up Mr. Corsair here. So I'm going to do a little bit of a glaze mix here on this brown. So this brown is going to be the deep skin color. So I think Corsair is some kind of a to put it in our world, he may be like East Indian or South Pacific ethnicity. Like he looks quite dark in the studio art, or in the artist rendition. And he just, to me, he looks kind of like East Indian. He looks like a larger East Indian guy. But yeah. So yeah, I've been hitting the sales pretty hard here, and sold Strategicon. Most of it actually wasn't mine. Like the Malifaux that I have on eBay right now is not my stuff. That's actually my friend's stuff, who asked for my help. Some of his models, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'll do that. For one, I get a little chunk of the money earned, which is good. Especially since I can throw auctions up without having to paint. Get to see how, for example, I get to see how Malifaux does in terms of eBay, because Malifaux, while I won't play it, I have good access to the Malifaux miniatures. Hard plastic is a very easy material to work with, and if it seems like there's that to be made off of painting Malifaux miniatures, then I could be convinced to paint some of it. All right, got the entire butcher line up on its way to me thanks to Armada. That's awesome. order some stuff from Armada. I think the next team that I flip, if I get a Mortician's team or something, I may go get that at Armada or through Armada. Okay, so yeah, I think his only other skin is his face and his right hand. Maybe his only bits of skin. So we're gonna work on the skin because I'm using glazes for the skin. They're gonna take a little longer to dry. So that means I'm going to be bouncing around a little bit more on this miniature than I typically do. On skin, usually the skin until the skin is done, and then I can move on to other parts of the miniature. In this case, though, I am going to skip around a little bit. And in fact, this color here is a decent undercoat for gold. So if I'm going to do anything gold on this miniature, which doesn't actually look like I will be doing anything gold on this miniature, so much for that. Yeah. But what we can do, actually, I should do gold. I should do a gold. Let's see. Anyone feel lately that there's so much stuff coming out that you get overwhelmed with purchasing all the new things that you run out of time playing all the good stuff you have? Absolutely. Great comment. So, especially those of us who play multiple games, because they tend to have all their releases out at the same time. Then you're like throwing your money around trying to figure out releases you want to keep and which ones you are going to pass on. So like right now there's Guild Ball. Thankfully the Guild Ball new release stuff there's not a lot of it, so there's not a whole lot of upkeep on Guild Ball other than you can buy yourself a season 2 rulebook, plot cards and tokens. But then if you're only playing 2 teams in Guild Ball, you only have like 6 models to get. There's not, and then you can keep up with the releases fairly easily. A lot of worry on that part. I'm slowing down on my new purchases lately for that reason. Extremely cutting back on the most part. Yeah, I have not picked up anything on Kickstarter for a little while now. For the same reason, I'm trying to fall back to next to nothing, and then I can worry about and as stuff comes in, I can actually paint it. For example, I still have that Bruce Lee game that I unboxed months ago. Haven't painted a single thing for it, mainly because a low priority. Like I can paint Bruce Lee stuff, and then I can paint Guild Ball. There's like no contest there. The only thing for the personal stuff of mine that's competing with Guild Ball is Relic Knights, because we do play Relic Knights relatively frequently. That's the only one that that's going to be able to compete. All right. Let's make a little glaze out of the white so that I can do cooler stuff with it. And what else here? What else needs to be? or black gray, I should say. Okay. So no Callan as of yet. I think he may be playing Overwatch. He's on his feed, his Facebook feed. He's talking a lot about Overwatch. So I'm like, okay, maybe he's playing Overwatch. That's cool. I just got this guy. So even his hair is dark. A lot of colors on him. That's good because I want to get back to. I want to finish that Terminator commission. I'm gonna pop this in the mail. And yeah, and I want to get on with my life and get back to painting some stuff that that is newer to me, or I'm going to have more fun, or maybe get a better option out of. Like the brewers I plan on painting. Funny, but the way this guy's looking, it looks like he looks like a to work for, actually. Pretty funny. All right. Oh, semi-related to Relic Knights. You see that the giant spider cosplay Marie Claude is working on for an upcoming anime convention. Can't wait to see when it's done. Hope people post a bunch of pics. Oh, I think this is for Anime Expo, right? And I'm on the fence here. I don't know if I'm going to go to Anime Expo. Go for a day, but I gotta be more choosy about my weekend gaming stuff, because it's starting to be fair to my wife. If she's on summer vacation and watching the kid and all that stuff, if that's really going to be a thing for me, or chill out and not go to every single convention, especially in light of Pretzelgate. Dun, dun, dun. Damn Pretzelgate. Yeah, it's Anime Expo, and Marie Claude is awesome. She's such a fun person. She's really cool. Got to hang out with her a little bit last year at Anime Expo. So yeah, she's really cool. She's really fun. I don't know. I'm not sure if Vegas PG or whoever cosplayers at the Ninja Division booth, but if I'm going, I would be there Friday and possibly Saturday. But I'd probably go Friday. I would want to demo. I'd want to demo Ninja All Stars. They'd probably put me on all the miniature stuff. Ninja All Stars, Relic Knights, and SDE. And I'm totally down with that. That's cool. Saturday, nice. Yeah, I defend to my wife, hey, I'm gonna work another con while you're 6 months pregnant. That's a tough one. I'm already working Comic-Con this year, so I gotta pick my spots here. So even if I do end up working AX, it's probably going to be just Friday. But if I am working Saturday, I'll let you know, Cameron, so you can hop by, come hang out with me or something. I am hoping against hope that Relic Knights actually sees some good support and we can actually get, you know, a few people. It is still one of my favorite games, and I know I obsess about Guild Ball these days, but it's still like, it's still that little sweetheart for me. Still really like the game, and I think it deserves some more play. Just please don't treat it like Eldorado. Ninja Division, please don't do that. Okay. He's got a cool quiver, Mr. Corsair here. Really cool miniature, actually, overall. So, I guess we could talk about Strategicon GameX, okay? Strategicon GameX is an interesting one for me, because even though I don't trying to cut down on the number of cons I go to, Strategicon GameX happens to fall on my birthday weekend. So, you know, when I'm asked by my wife, what do I want to do on my I tell her I want to run a tournament of some sort, or I want to go play at a gaming convention. I always end up going to Strategicon GameX, even though, truth be told, we love to go to say KublaCon for the weekend. It's just not feasible. It's not fair to like take the entire birthday weekend to game, and maybe even like force my family to come travel up there with me. I just don't. That's not a very cool thing to do. So I don't really do that. Okay. Any chance that Eldorado Anima Tactics will be picked up by another company? Oh. Because those are good franchises. Anima Tactics, I would say, is probably going to be way more difficult to be picked up by another company, mainly because of how Anima Studios heard about Anima Studios and how they want to control their IP, even at the cost of not making money. It's really strange. Like, the Anima is in Spain. They have a good franchise there for RPGs, and they're even doing a video game and all that. Doing more, and the Anima Tactics skirmish game, properly supported, could have been proof that they've got to be a legitimate tabletop miniature game if they so chose. But they don't seem to be interested in it. They want to control all their characters, all their IP. They didn't really give Cypher or Ninja Division the time of day with regards to when and how they were going to release their line and that sort of stuff. Essentially gave Cypher permission to cast those miniatures, right? So yeah, unfortunately, not a good situation with Anima Tactics, and I do not foresee being able to that line. Eldorado is a different story. Eldorado, I believe, and again, I'm no like huge insider. Like, I know Ninja Division, I know the guys, but I don't. I wouldn't consider myself an insider. I'm just a guy that knows them. They know me, and that's about it. Occasionally they'll leak something to me, but nothing too big. Anyway, I don't. There's another company shopping Eldorado, but it would make sense. It would make sense. Kai wanted to sell Eldorado. It would make perfect sense if he wanted to. I don't. That said, some of the decisions made aren't made under the best of sense. Take it for what it's worth. Yeah, it makes sense that he would want to sell Eldorado so that its fan base could help try to revive the game under another manufacturer or another producer. But who knows? I actually brought it up to Viv the other day on his stream to say, like, hey, are you interested in Eldorado, in picking it up? And he said, yeah, actually, I am interested in acquiring. I don't think his answer to my question wasn't specific to Eldorado, but I think Knights of Dice, and he kind of went into why Knights of Dice is interested in acquiring properties, acquiring games like that. So for sale, and there is a reasonable price tag attached to it. And Viv thinks he can make money off of it, then it could end up going that route. But honestly, I are off there. I don't know. It's that's definitely a tough one for everybody. It's I don't really know what to say there. I think Eldorado is a viable franchise. I think that it, as much as I like Kai and Cypher, they've done for me on a personal basis, helping me out at times and stuff. Sit here and lie and say I don't think that there were aspects of what they did with Eldorado that could have been better, because there clearly were, as far as I'm concerned. There are clearly some things that I felt they could have been doing better line to give themselves a franchise. And it seemed kind of silly that they didn't do those things to me. There's all they really had to do. Again, just my opinion. All they really had to do was buckle down, commit to a release schedule, and stick to that release schedule. Now, I understand because they're working with Ninja Division, and Ninja Division is going to throw them around a lot of different projects. For example, Robotech RPG Tactics, had the Super Dungeon revamp, you had Ninja All-Stars, you had all these, you even had changes to Relic Knights. All of these new franchises or adjustments to take on projects pop side probably just ate up all their bandwidth, so that anything that they may have actually planned for Eldorado, they just didn't have the ability to follow up on. That's kind of what I think happened, was like Ninja Division formed, and Soda Pop properties, because of their profitability, became to the team than Cypher stuff. Cypher was a really niche. It was a really boutique set of games that they have, and it was one of the things that I really enjoyed about Cypher, though, was like, when I signed up to be a free agent, I was kind of looking for I was specifically looking for kind of a smaller company, that I could help out, but I didn't have to do like 128 people tournaments for, So for me, like when I signed up to help push their stuff, I was kind of looking at it more like, okay, I could operate at half the potential I was when I was a Malifaux henchman and still do this company quite a bit of good, treating it. And I don't know if that sounds arrogant or not, but that's kind of how I operate within the within like a gaming promotion standpoint is, when I was to do with when I was, a Malifaux henchman, is I had incredible bandwidth. I could travel. Uh, I had much more, significantly more disposable income than I do now, to just kind of throw around, travel within the region, um, support, build a website. Like there was all kinds of stuff. I think I did like 12 or 14 conventions in a year with the. So bottom line, I had a lot more bandwidth as a henchman. So, but with Cypher, it was like, okay, well, I don't really need to do all that much because these aren't big franchises. That's kind of where I went with Cypher. And then when Ninja Division came along, it was like, yeah, I already played those other games. I already play Super Dungeon Explorer. I'm already going to be playing Relic Knights. It was like, okay, I get to do the Cypher stuff, which I already liked. I get to do some Soda Pop Ninja Division stuff. So I was totally down for that. As time went on, the priorities of Ninja Division shifted, and they really moved more towards new products, the Soda Pop line, than the Cypher line. So that's kind of where, like, when I saw that starting to happen, that is kind of where I started to notice the lack of production on the Cypher side. And there was still some lip service being paid to that whole thing. Like, oh yeah, you'll see, we're gonna do stuff. We're gonna do stuff with these games, and you guys just keep playing, keep enjoying. We're gonna do organized play. We're gonna have this and this and this. And sadly, it just didn't happen. It did not happen. And again, full disclosure here, I wasn't surprised by it, because they kept saying they were going to do stuff, see them do stuff. And example of it was the last year's Gen Con pre-order stuff, right? So like I was so excited to see new Anima Tactics models and new Eldorado models. I was so excited to see that stuff. I ordered a whole bunch of it on my my Gen Con pre-order, right? It took them so long to fulfill the order that my order was actually 6 months late coming in. I was pissed. It got to the point where I was going to contact the about hey, you shouldn't take 6 months, especially when the stuff is on the shelf now. That was the whole point of the pre-order. Ninja Division patched all of that up. They made sure I was taken care of, but there was a lot of activity that I had to do in order to get adequate attention on my order. So stuff is really unfortunate, but I think it's a cautionary tale, because I believe Eldorado is a viable game. It's a good game. It has a following. All it needed was a manufacturer that could fulfill it. They already had their good systems in place. They had good stuff in place. But yeah, they didn't fulfill it. And so it's a kind of a toxic situation around those games. That's a shame, because I really do like those games. When we were told, like, as Ninja Core, we were told, okay, well, we're no longer going to support running those games because they're discontinued, that was kind of the nail in the coffin for me too, because it's like, yeah, I want people to play this game, but me that if I spend my promotional time, my ninja time, pushing these two games, you're not gonna support me. I'm not gonna do that, right? As much as I love these games and as much as I do stuff for free within gaming, I'm going to skip that one. So I know I've been rambling quite a bit, but if you guys have any questions or comments or anything, let me know. There's no Callan on. I may see if I can get Michael Fortino on from Armada Games. Maybe he wants to talk a little Guild Ball with me, and then we'll take it from there. This Corsair guy wears a lot of belts. What's up, Adam? Yeah. Okay, so let's go a little bit into Strategicon GameX, which is where I was before that question was asked. So Strategicon GameX, like I said, I go every year because it's my birthday. Every year on my birthday, I want to run some kind of fun miniatures event. This year, I landed on Guild Ball because, hey, I love Guild Ball. Giant mushroom mold's nice. Hey, I've got some runway here. Let's try to schedule a tournament at Strategicon. So I made a tournament, called it the Pip Cup, Plate Painted Cup, essentially, and we were underway. The Pip Cup is going to have a lot of custom prizes. That it's not going to be the usual, blister pack and starter set that are often given away at these things. I wanted to do something a little bit different. So I had a number of different things made, like custom widgets, we had patches made. I made some like pocket pitches. Gabe made basically handmade a trophy, some coins made. So I did a lot of like stuff to personalize the Pip Cup and make it more like a, like almost like a proprietary tournament. And so it was scheduled for Saturday. I showed up Friday, like pretty much right as the con was opening. Broke out the Guild Ball almost immediately. And so we played Guild Ball Friday pretty much the entire day. I stopped for a demo of Robotech RPG Tactics because I still own my Robotech, believe it or not. For you guys that remember, like a year ago when I was painting Robotech, yes, I still own Tech. And one of my friends here locally just finished painting his Robotech, and he's like, "Hey, Octave, do you know how to play? I want to play a game with you." I have my stuff still, but I don't know how to play. So at Strategicon, I signed up for a demo of Robotech RPG Tactics, and I had the worst demo of a miniatures game that I've had in some time. I mean, this is classically bad, and this is what I generally criticize people what they commonly do when they're going to demo games, and maybe they're not really there to teach people the game. They're there for other reasons, we'll say. To my mind, clearly this guy was there, the guy running the Robotech RPG Tactics demo, and he wasn't there to teach anybody. So at the time, the designated time that's on the calendar, and I say, hey, Are you running demos of Robotech RPG Tactics? He kind of shakes his head. Okay, cool. I would like to have a demo. Thing to me. He breaks out a bunch of terrain and he says, now we're going to start alternating placing terrain. That's what he opened up with. So I said, okay, hopefully he'll explain more of this as we're going. And so I had to like clarify it with him. How much of the table are we using? You know, how many pieces of terrain are we using? All that stuff. He basically had to drag that out of him to get any kind of info from this guy on what we're going to do, right? So we're doing all that stuff. We set up our model. You know, he asked me what I want to be. I'm like, well, I want Veritex because that's what I have at home. So I pick, you know, he gives me a squadron of 5 Veritech fighters, and he takes you know, I don't know how many, couple of squadrons of the battle pods for the Zentradi. Oh, that's the wrong one. And he takes, like, you know, one of the leader combat pods and like some super giant pod thing, right? So without telling me anything, he's like, roll a die. Okay, roll a die. I get to go first, all this stuff. He comes around the corner, first move of the game, and fires this cannon at me, right? From the super giant thing. I don't even know what it is. And he's like, oh yeah, you can't dodge this. You can't shield this. You can't try to block it. Is automatically hits, and after rolling dice, you're just going to take X damage. And it's got unlimited range, and here's what it does. So already I'm starting, and he just pulled around the corner and did it. He didn't give me an objective for what the demo is going to consist of. He didn't explain any of the basic mechanics. He just pulled right out there and fired at me, fired the gun at me, essentially, right? So I'm like, okay, this isn't really a demo, is this? This is somebody who is just trying to get a cheap something. Somebody that couldn't be bothered to explain the game that he's there to teach. And so that already kind of put me on alert, like, okay, something's wrong. This guy is perhaps not so interested how to play Robotech RPG Tactics. He may just be interested in winning a game of Robotech RPG Tactics. It was also pretty clear that he very familiar with the rules. He spent a lot of the demo with his head buried in the book, didn't explain anything, just rolled a die, looked at it, and then told me, I'm winning. I'm winning. You know, maybe not in those words, but I dodged it. You know, anytime I did something to him, oh, well, I just shot them down. I fired missiles at you. Well, I just shot them down. Okay. Can you explain to me how that works? No, I just did it. I just shot the. So your missiles don't work. You don't have any. You're not. Oh, I get to just distribute damage however I want. I can just keep sharing damage around, and I'm not going to explain it to you how any of this stuff works. I'm just going to do it, right? So finally, like, every time I do something, he has the perfect counter for, or at least that's what he. So I get to the point where it's like, okay, I get it. You're not here to teach me the game. I'm not going to learn the game from you. You're probably one of the worst people that I've ever run into to anybody. Like, I can honestly say that I know less about Robotech RPG Tactics now than I do before I actually walked up to that guy's table and started playing. You know, a couple of turns in where he's not explaining anything, I just get up. I'm like, you know what? It's fine, and I think you've done your damage, and I'm gonna leave. So I got up, and I was like, hopefully to the next guy you can explain something to him, because I know my story sounds really disjointed, but the amount of explanations I'm giving you guys on Robotech RPG Tactics are equal to, if not more than, the explanations I was getting about playing this game. And that's pretty sad. That's a sad thing that, that it works that way. That's just disappointing. So bad. Anyway, got a bad demo of Robotech RPG Tactics, and went back to playing some Guild Ball. So we're playing Guild Ball Friday night. It's pretty awesome, actually. We have 4 to 6 people kind of in and out. Maybe we ran about 3 to 4 game demos. I don't remember. I think I ran a couple after I got drunk. Me and Dave went in like late into the night and we were playing, and I think I ended up running a demo, like something like that. But it was good times, right? So a bit of drinking, playing some Guild Ball, that's kind of what you might expect for us, for our group anyways, right? Oh, I totally forgot to throw in this story before we get up there. So before we get up there, like I said, I have local sponsors and custom prizes, right? So War Gamma, aka Miss Dandy, our tournament, and he says, hey, he contacts me on my way up there and says, hey man, I just got this like emergency commission job that is going to pull me away for the whole weekend. I'm not actually going to be at the con, unfortunately. Can you stop by and pick up your prize support? So I got to go to Mr. Dandy's house. Went to his house because it actually was literally on the way up to the con. Got to see his workshop, the cool stuff that he's casting. And then the dude literally just threw like 3 pounds of resin at me support. It was really awesome. There's a lot of stuff in there, a lot of cool custom bases. So I was super, super stoked about that. Got to go see Mr. Dandy in his natural environment. That was cool. All right. So that was Friday night. Playing games, having a good time. And Saturday comes, and I get up early in the morning and head downstairs. And the tournament's set to start at 10 o'clock, right? So I have breakfast, setting up terrain, all this stuff, not paying really anything any mind. And then like 9:45, 9:50 rolls around, and I notice that nobody's there. Nobody's at the tournament. I'm going, what is going on? We had Mark and those guys, Callan, the night before. What's going on? Callan messages me and says, hey man, I hurt my back. I'm not doing so well for today. Okay. Similarly, get a message from Mark's dad. Hey, stomach issues. He's not going to be in today. Okay. Then I got some more folks that were on Facebook. Hey, can't make it out there today. So that's how the day was shaping up. In the meantime, I have a bunch of people walking by. They're like, hey, I want to learn. Do this because, instead of what I ended up doing, because only Dave showed up for the tournament, was the only veteran player to show up for the Pip Cup. What I ended up doing was saying, okay, we're not going to award the Pip Cup today. What we're going to do is we're going to run a bunch of demos. We're going to run a bunch of demos, and we're going to let people play learning games. And then if any of them is brave enough and good enough to challenge Dave and beat him in an actual game of Guild Ball, them the cup. That was the deal. And we had a guy that was playing all day long. So I thought, and he was playing Hammer, and I just kind of gave him the full primer on how to play Hammer. hammer. And so he was looking pretty good. He ended up playing like at least four, maybe 5 games over the course of the day. And I guess about 4 by the time he ran into Dave, and he played against Dave's Butchers, and put up a valiant fight. But he's still a brand new guy, so he didn't end up winning. I did give him a really cool instead of the cup. So what I gave him is I gave him a pocket pitch. Okay, so what's a pocket pitch? Well, pocket pitch is it's essentially a guild ball mat that is printed on a really lightweight polyester material that's really it's like really strong, but super lightweight. I mean, the pocket pitch, which is a 3x3 mat, probably only weighs a few ounces pitch, which is pretty wild. Like, you're not used to seeing how lightweight a 3x3 mat can be. So, and it's actually, I like the texture much better than vinyl. I can't stand vinyl mats. I think they're awful. Because I had a friend make me some vinyl mats for Malifaux, and he wanted to know, hey, what do you guys think? I was not a fan. I don't like. I don't know. It was too slick, when it flattened out, and it still had some memory. Like, it's still, if you rolled it up wrong, it would still curl up in the wrong spots and all this stuff. So needless to say, I was not a big fan of the vinyl mats. So the pocket pitch is really cool because it is light but strong polyester, and you can literally fold it up and throw it in your pocket. And it's a great emergency mat. It's never, to me, it will never take the place of how awesome are. But it's good for when you're in a bind or you need to travel more lightweight. They're really good to have. So I always keep one on me. I have a bag for my neoprene mats. So try to use the neoprene mats, but I always have an emergency pocket pitch. I won a pocket pitch, which is awesome. But yeah, that was the gaming part of Strategicon. Let's talk a little bit about the title of this video. Pretzelgate. What am I talking about? What is Pretzelgate? Why should we care? Something was a little bit different this time at Strategicon. And we were warned about it. All of us volunteers and people that work the con were warned about it. Okay, and that is the fact that Hilton would be enforcing a no outside food policy at the con, right? So if the Strategicon staff were given very strict warnings, like, hey, if your people are bringing in outside food, it's going to be like, something crazy, like $100 per violation or some crap like that, right? And so we were all under this warning. Now, for me personally, I don't pay it no mind, right? Because I usually do eat at the cons, and it's expensive to eat at the cons. It's expensive to eat at the hotel. Anyways, I don't like, I'm already carrying a whole bunch of stuff for gaming. Now, I usually have what I like to call a handler. I usually have somebody like a Jose or There's somebody on hand that if I'm going to run a tournament and they don't feel like playing in it, they'll run and they'll go get me food, right? The territory they get to ride up with. I give them a ride. I give them a lot of times I get them into the cons. They can do me a little solid back and pick up some food for me, right? So, anyways, no outside food. Going to be strictly enforced at this con. Sure, whatever. I eat at the con. I will always be in compliance with this rule. So I didn't even give it a second thought. So the con starts Friday. I buy a Diet Coke at off the vending machine, and here we go. Like right off the bat, some of the strategic con staff, they're like, "Hey, Octave, we know you. I just have to give you the obligatory, hey, is that from the convention?" And like, yeah, it's from the hotel, so don't even sweat it. Here's what it is, right? No big deal, no harm, no foul, right? We do the one thing with strategic con staff, and that's it. And I don't feel harassed. They know me. I put all the food out in the open so they can see what it is I'm eating, and they don't have to play detective over a stupid thing like a bag of pretzels, right? Saturday comes along, and we're running a lot of demo games of Guild Ball, and we had a bunch of drinks the night before, like I was saying, and so I got a little bit of the bowling ball head, hungover, but just a little bit of the bowling ball head. And when I get that, my body needs salt the next day. I need something salty. The best thing for me, by the way, the best thing is when I've got that little bowling ball head, is to fry up some Spam. Because I like Spam. And I know in the comment section, grossing out a little bit about my adoration of Spam. But I do think it's delicious and it's salty. And when you cook it right, it will with the bowling ball head. So anyway, I need salt. So I go to the gift shop in the hotel. I pick up a bottle of water. I pick up some aspirin, and I pick up the infamous bag of pretzels from the hotel gift shop. So bought the stuff at the gift shop, went about my business running games. Now here's where it starts. Like, as I'm coming in, one of the hotel staff, she like follows me in. She's got like a security guard in tow with her, and they like follow me in. They follow me over to where my gaming area is. And then she starts in with like, "Sir, there's no outside food allowed here. Where did you get those pretzels?" I'm like, "I got them from your gift shop. Would you like me to show you?" "Oh, no, that's okay. That's okay." "All right. Okay. Thank you, sir." Me alone. The fact that she brought security over there kind of pissed me off a little bit, because it's like, why the hell do you need to involve security? Pretzels, but whatever, right? I don't know. I'm sure with my lime green pundit shirt and all 5'7" of me, 5'7" pot-bellied Filipino guy. Yeah, that's super intimidating. That guy's up to no good with his bag of pretzels. Who knows what he's capable of, right? Anyway, so that was the first stop. Then over the course of the day, stopped no less, and I'm not kidding, no less than 5 more times by other hotel staff, by security staff. Shifts change. Now they're coming and they're asking me again, and "Sir, where did you get that? Sir, you can't have outside food here. Sir." Finally, like maybe an hour before I left, I was so frustrated that I took a note and I took the receipt, attached it to the bag of pretzels with the Post-it note, and wrote on the Post-it note, "This is from the gift shop," or "It's from the gift shop," right? Because I was getting tired of the constant harassment and interrogation. "Sir, you can't have outside food here." And I'm like, bitch, please, do you know what you sell in your own goddamn hotel, right? You freaking idiot. Like, how are you going to come at me? How stupid do you look? Like, you're going to be this law Nazi, right? Sir, you don't even know the fucking, like, how do you not, I'm sorry, I'm dropping F-bombs now, but how do you not know what's covered and what isn't covered in your own damn policy? That you're going to come in my, like, you're going to show up in my face, you're going to bring security over and talk to me about that. That's like, you know, that would be like showing up to a football game, right? And arbitrarily calling offsides that's kicking the ball. Like, just no concept of what's happening at that point. No idea of what your hotel carries and what it sells. I was actually at the point where, because I had gone back a couple of times to the gift shop to pick up other things, and I was dealing with clerk there for most of the day. I was going to have her just say, "Hey, can you talk to these security guards and let them know that, like, I've been over to you 4 times today to buy stuff, and every single time I get over there from, you know, it is 100 feet from the con, 100 feet of the hall. If you're at the registration desk of the Hilton, from the registration desk, you could just walk straight across, and there it is. There's a gift shop, and lo and behold, they sell the damn pretzels. Not only did they not just sell the pretzels at the shop, I had a receipt stuck on the bag, which would prove in a court of fucking law, the pretzels shop even has the date and time on it. It has the SKU number on it. Like, what the hell else do you need to know that I bought a bag of pretzels at a con? I am in compliance of your stupid rule. And shit, right? I'm still treated like I'm some, like, thug hooligan gamer guy that, you know, some neckbeard guy that's like, you know, that lives in his mom's basement, and he thinks misogynist thoughts about girls, and you know, whatever the hell else you want to tack onto this stereotype, right? I'm the only, like, oh man, but they don't know what I'm about. They didn't know, like, hey, I've been in honors for over 5 years. I've been patron of the hotel for over 10 years. Every time I travel for work, I stay at a Hilton. I got hella Hilton points. Like, I'm like team freaking Hilton gig. That's what I do. I like the Hilton. I like the Hampton Inn. These are good hotels. I like staying there. No, they think, you know, I'm not one to call, like, racism or cry racism or anything like this, but I will just kind of point it out that at this particular hotel, the LAX Hilton, it services like Chinese air. There's a lot of Asians at this hotel. In fact, I was joking the night before, because every Saturday morning at every Strategicon that's been at this hotel, the joke is like, there's always these, like, Asian tour guides, like Asian tours that happen, and you have, like, hella Asians, like 70, 80 Asians, like all congregate in the lobby in the morning before they go out on these tours. And who knows where they take them? They take them to the LA Zoo, or they take them to, sightseeing. Here's the smog. Here's the gangs. Like, I don't know what they do, but anyway, is I could show up in the morning and decide at any point during the day that I'm not going to speak English. I could just say, no, I'm from Asia. I don't speak any English, right? I could run into the lobby there, and we could take a photo of me wading through that crowd and be like, find Octave in this picture. Where's Octave? I think that'd be super, super funny. But anyways, it is weird that, because a lot of those folks don't speak English. A lot of times they come off rude to Americans. A lot of times Americans come off rude to them. But there's that little healthy bit of tourist. We'll call it tourist tension, right? Adam says, that demo sounds so awesome. That guy's my hero. The Robotech guy. Jesus Christ, that was like the worst demo ever. Anyway. So yeah, there's this tension, and sometimes hotel staff, like I've seen them actually kind of pick on some of the tourists, like, sir, you can't do that, sir, this isn't in the rules. Or, they just kind of follow them around, and they expect them to break rules, either because out of ignorance or whatever, and they don't trust them, right? So it mind a little bit. It was playing in the back of my mind a little bit. Why do I keep getting stopped? Like almost every hour. Why do I keep getting stopped? I have a bag of pretzels. Like, there's guys walking around with concealed containers of alcohol. There's a guy that on the SoCal tabletop thread that was like, "Nah, man, I strolled in there with a Carl's Jr. cup." No, what's going on? Why am I being singled out? But I also can say that that there were other people that were also getting harassed for stuff. So, maybe it was, maybe that was part of it. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. Damage is done. Yeah. So see, Adam's saying, yeah, they're profiling me. And a crazy Asian guy probably selling illegal pharmaceuticals out of a bag of pretzels. Clearly, that's what I was doing at a gaming convention, because there is no better clientele for illicit drugs than gamers. Gamers got to have that smack, man. Gamers always have large amounts of cash on them that they're willing to part with, or not, or maybe gamers are some broke mother, and it's been my experience. Gamers are broke, and if you're going to deal drugs, people you would care to sell to, and they're going to ask you for shit. Hey man, can I just have like 3 hits today, and like I'll pay you Thursday? They're like the wimpy of smack dealing. So yeah, I don't know what sort of illicit, heinous crimes the Hilton hotel staff thought I was capable of with a bag of goddamn pretzels. I do not know. I don't know, and I don't know why I had like easily the worst time of any Strategicon this past time, which sucks too, because I love, we're having a blast playing some Guild Ball. The Guild Ball games were great, having fun playing that, but like every now and then just got this reminder, hey sir, where are those pretzels from? And I don't know. If it weren't for games being so fun, who knows, man? Maybe I would have cracked. Maybe I would have lost my shit. And they would have to restrain me with their security over some pretzels, over some goddamn pretzels. So yeah, that really kind of screwed my that screwed my time there. I complained to the hotel staff. I called the front desk, complained to the manager. They gave me an email of the events coordinator to email, and I've been on this like email back and forth with the events coordinator. I wrote them a really long, scathing, nasty email that I actually copied Strategicon staff on. And Strategicon staff replied back, and they're like, "You're my fucking hero, man. This is great." No. Yes and no, I am their hero. Yes, I'm their hero for complaining about some bullshit that happened. But no, unfortunately, and we saw this on the SoCal tabletop thread, unfortunately, to attack the convention. And that's not what I wanted. The people at the convention, they're in a bad situation. They're doing what they can. They don't have a say in this. That's a stupid Hilton hotel policy. Don't go after those guys, man. Those are the guys they're on our side. They have the same issue. Those guys, those Strategicon staff, they're not any richer than we are. They can't afford to, and they're there for 4 days to eat there. I know those guys, man. They don't, not to be mean or anything, but those guys have like the best paying jobs. That's all I'm saying. And so they're totally on our side. They were super nice to me. They were like, "Hey man, just be sure that you're always in compliance. It's not going to be a big deal. You can put all your stuff out in the open. Don't hide it. Nobody's going to have a problem with it because this is where that's where you bought it from. You have nothing to hide. You have the damn receipt on you." But apparently still not good enough. Hilton hotel staff, which is super shitty, but yeah. Okay, let's see. The jokes here. They were Fritos equals felony. They were afraid you were going to kill someone with a gluten intolerance. Oh man, what? That's achievement unlocked as far as I'm concerned. Sorry, 0.1% of the population that really does suffer from gluten, from real gluten issues, and not sorry to the other smug assholes that like to claim that they are better their life is without gluten. Anyway, you were gonna get those salted breadsticks, boy. The use of boy was pretty awesome. That was kind of my favorite part of that. But yeah, it's okay. Yes, the rule is stupid, and you have every right to complain about it. And the guys and all the people on SoCal tabletop that rule, and they complain about the rule. Yeah, fine. I totally agree. I think the issue, though, my specific issue, though, is the fact that I was actually obeying that rule and still harassed over it. That's the specific issue I take with this whole thing. Is like, it's, you're gonna have this stupid rule. Okay, I'm obeying your stupid rule. What do you mean you're gonna follow me around? You're gonna put security. You're gonna send security over with you to talk to me about pretzels. What kind of garbage is that? How do you treat the guests of your hotel that way? How do you do that? I don't know. There's a part of me that thinks, because I keep pushing it. Like I went on Hilton's main site because I'm an honors member. They send me additional questionnaires. And I was like, basically, fuck you guys. Like, this is, I've been a customer for so long. This is the absolute worst treatment I've ever had in any hotel. Shame on you, Hilton. Right? I don't know. Are telling me that that I might be a little bit overboard. Some of the other people are telling me I'm not going far enough overboard. I want to hear from you guys. What do you think? You think Pretzelgate is or is it not hype enough? Do we need to hype it more? Yeah. One of the ladies from SoCal Tabletop said that it was the last item left on the miniatures table when they were leaving the con, and they took a photo of it. Is you a guest at our establishment? Yes? Then where you get those pretzels? Oh, man. I personally think that Hilton should apologize to me by always ensuring I have a bag of pretzels when I show up at this hotel. I think that's fair, rather than like comping me a night or doubling my points or some other crap like that. I think it would be funny and appropriate. That oh, Mr. Villar, you're checking in. Here's your complimentary bag of pretzels. Once again, we're so sorry about Pretzelgate and all that. The guys at SoCal now it is because we did shed so much light on this stupid rule. There were a number of people on the SoCal Tabletop that were saying, "Oh, well, now I'm not going to that con." That's a bummer. That's the part that makes me a bit sad, because I want people to go to. I do want people to go to Strategicon. I like Strategicon. It's a fun convention. Fun every time I go, and I run a lot of different games at Strategicon. It's not Kingdom Con, right? If you guys, for you guys that aren't in California, or for you guys even, well, Troy, you know this because you went to Kingdom Con. For any of you guys not in the SoCal area, or if you're like Cameron and you haven't gone to that particular con, I cannot stress that enough. The freaking real deal for Southern California conventions. It is bar none, wall to wall, a really, really good time. And so, yeah, go to Kingdom Con. If you've already gone to Kingdom Con, you want to go to something else in LA, go to Strategicon, because it is fun. It is fun. But Strategicon is more like, because it's more like that. I consider that like being in the old guy's garage. You know what I mean? And I'm going to be this old guy in the neighborhood one year. One day, I will be that guy. I'm going to be that guy who's got his garage door open in the neighborhood, that old guy. Usually used to would play historical. Be a little bit different than that guy because I'm not ex-military. But I'm going to be that old guy that like teaches people how to play miniature games, and the other fucking weird. What's the matter? I do see myself as being that guy, especially as my boys get older and stuff like that. So, okay, need wanted posters during the Mega Pretzels. I know I might, you might have to take a picture with my pundit shirt on, pretzels, and like put wanted on it. I would just to be funny, just to piss them off. They would inevitably come up to me and I go, "Oh yeah, you remember that time you harassed your own over some bullshit?" Every room service cleans up your room. They leave a mint in a bag of pretzels. That's funny. Okay, so Troy, you're going to be back next year. I am hoping to be back next year. It's going to be tough. Kingdom Con's going to be tough for me next year because I will have 2 kids at that point, which is awesome. Having another little boy, but that's also going to be very, very difficult for me to kind of leave my 2 boys, especially, one of them is going to be 3, the other one's going to be still an infant, to leave them with mom for the weekend and go to Kingdom Con. I really want to go. We'll see. I will try my best to go, mainly because Guild Ball is going to be off the freaking chain next year. So train up, get good at Guild Ball. You're going to want to be there. So yeah, I don't know. That was Pretzelgate. I don't know. I could throw Michael a link to hop on if he wants to talk some Guild Ball. Now that we're done talking Pretzelgate, I'll shoot him this. Okay, so anyway, that was my weekend. Yeah, it was kind of a bummer because like it could be between Pretzelgate and between not being able to award the Pip Cup. It was a little bit of a letdown for my birthday weekend. A little bit of a letdown. But I don't blame anybody specifically over it, except for the Hilton hotel staff, which really should have done a better job. But that said, we still have a lot of really cool events here in SoCal, and I want to be a part of them. The main one is the Guacamole Cup is coming up in a couple of weeks. I'm really excited for that, but I will not be going to that, so I'm super sad about it. But that is the sanctioned tournament. That's going to be in San Diego, June 11th, I believe. Man, I just want to play, and I was like whining this past weekend to Dave and them, like, okay, so I've thrown a bunch of tournaments for Guild Ball. One tournament, the last one I threw, because there were no rookies that showed up, and I was like, I'll play Ringer for my own tournament, and got some good fun games in, and got to play kind of full throttle at that tournament, which was cool. But I kind of want to just like show up and play. I want to show up with the expectation that I'm going to play. I want to show up and compete and not have to worry about, oh well, I'm a pundit or I'm the particular pundit running this event. I shouldn't be a dick or whatever. Yeah. So he's down in San Diego right now has a lot of cool Guild Ball events brewing or in the process. Guacamole Cup. Also, they have the big league going. They get to try out the big league. I really wish Orange County would kind of get their shit together so that we could play the big league. I wish we had more reliable players around the game than we do currently. And I know we'll get there, but it probably won't be on my watch. It'll probably be somebody else that picks up the torch after I pull back, and that scene just kind of grows out of somebody else's gaming group. How you can actually get a game to take hold. It's not about the game. It's not so much about the game itself. The game itself, and we learned this from Malifaux actually. The game itself has to meet certain criteria. It has to be a certain a minimum amount of good. It has to meet a minimum amount of manufacturing support and volunteer support. But ultimately, you want a game to stick. You got to have a group, a dedicated group of guys, and I would say ideally a group of 6 to 8 guys that all play, whatever game with each other. Those guys got to get in, and they have to adopt the game, and they have to start playing it to stick. Like if you really want it to be effective, that's really how it takes hold. And you got to have the support of the store staff too, that have to be diligent about keeping it on the shelf and supporting the local pundit or volunteer or whoever is going to be running events out of that shop. These are my thoughts on how to actually take take these new games. And I think it's kind of the eternal question with all the proliferation of third-party games now. Top scene. How do you get them to stick? How do you get one to stick around? My opinion on how you do it. So, so yeah, I do think that you got to get a gaming group. You got to get stability. Me, I'm not. I game frequently. I full schedule. One week it might be Thursday. The next week it might be Saturday. I'm kind of all over the map. And some weeks it may be multiple days, but it's like I have no advance notice. So so yeah, it becomes a bit of an issue. So I really do think like a gaming group stepping in and adopting a game and then building around that gaming group is the way to go. Is a really cool situation for being an early adopter because you have with At Ease you have a lot of military personnel there. You know, that's why the shop has what it has, the name it has, that kind of go in and out of that area. But there are local patrons, right, that like to pick up and try new games, and you have staff that's really supportive. You have some ownership there that really kind of has their ear to the ground with regards to what games are taking off and how to get those games into his shop. Ron does a fantastic job at Ease, just kind of staying on top of stuff. You know, when Frostgrave blew up, they were on top of it. When X-Wing, when the Mantic games were doing well, they're on top of it. They were some of the first guys to get behind it and start supporting that stuff. And then when it cools down, they know how they've got enough of a gut check to stomach that and survive it. A lot of hobby shops can't survive the rapid changes in games that come through. But At Ease is, you know, they're in a really good situation there in San Diego, so they've got a lot of stuff working in their favor. Came along, and their locals picked it up. The owners they took note as well, and they got behind it and pushed, and that was awesome. It was an awesome thing to see. A little bit, the first person to bring Guild Ball to that shop, and get people get the right people to notice the game, and has flourished. So good on Dave, good on Ron, the whole team down there for really just game and building a scene from scratch. Also to Paradise Games, you know, you've got Glenn on that side, and the other staff at Paradise who really supported and well as well. And, you know, we're trying to grow it a bit in Orange County. We're pushing in our region too. It's a little slower going though because we just don't have the same kinds of advantages. And one of the big disadvantages for Orange County anyways is space. Like we have a lot of space issues with trying to make sure we have the right amount of table space. And in Orange County, you know, there's a lot of established crowd. You know, the 40K guys take up a lot of space in the store. The X-Wing guys, it took them But now that they're going, they hit a free fall. Always get, you know, a dozen or more players anytime they want. Guild Ball in this area has not hit that point yet. I do see it hitting that point, though, that we will eventually get to a point where we're in a free fall and there are people joining up all the time. I just think it's going to be a little bit of a slower climb, and the next phase in growth out here is probably not going to involve me directly. You know, it might involve my online print, because I have a reasonably sized online social media footprint with regards to the local gaming community. Not so much YouTube. I'm still really small. But I would say that a lot of the people that watch my YouTube channel are local gamers, and they have gamed with me. So when I do put stuff out on YouTube, it's like, oh, okay, well, that's a guy that's gaming local, so he's going to do this event. I should probably go. Advantage. So no, I'm not internet famous or anything like that, but I do have a bit of a footprint. You know, I do cast a little bit of a. The problem is that that consistent local presence. I am a local presence, but consistent. Like Tuesday night's always going to be my night. That's very hard for me to do because of my family kind of changing priorities when they need to. Hello, hey, what's up, Blade Wolf? Welcome to the feed with Corsair. He's looking pretty cool. I'm quite a bit. He's darker skin than I thought he would be. But yeah, he's looking pretty cool. I'm gonna shade in the. So this is an ink glaze that I'm using. That's a mix of Vallejo brown ink and black ink with glaze medium. So it's really thin wash, but man, it's got strong tint to it. Open time and good control. Exactly. My feed is freezing. It's got real choppy all of a sudden, huh? Uh-oh. Sorry about that. Wow, it's real choppy. So let's put all this stuff back. Corsair along with the rest of Fisherman is what I'm going to do next. Fun. That's a fun model to paint. Not very often I'm painting a single Guild Ball model. Let me just do the base. And I'm going to let this dry. And we'll just kind of chit-chat for a little bit while all this is going on. So next, I do have that Terminator stuff that I have to paint. I'm not a fan of it. Won't lie. I clearly undercharged the client. Should have asked for much more now that I know how annoying those miniatures are to put together. Norton 360, that's probably why. I wish I could shut off Norton 360. Probably why I'm so choppy right now. Let's see. Fishermen are fun to play. Take time to master at times. I do not play fishermen. I want to play their play style. I want to play a goal-focused play style, but not necessarily with them. Makes no sense. I love the fisherman models. They're super fun to paint. They're really cool. They have a really cool aesthetic to them. Play them. I've actually painted 2 sets of fisherman models so far. 2 whole fisherman teams, and haven't really played them. I can see myself doing it though at some point. Ooh. My glaze wash pulled up a little bit of the into the wood grain. That's a bit of an annoyance. Okay, so I'm gonna let that dry. Let's see if I can actually. And then dry. Let's see. Yeah, the 3 teams, possibly 4 butchers and fishermen. The 4th would be union. I need a lot of practice. I kind of suck. The game is too good to not keep trying. That's good, man. I'm glad that we're gonna stick with it because the game is really good. It's too good to just kind of walk away from. You need to talk a little bit about some of the comments around some of the criticisms around the game. One in particular, because I do feel that there is some credibility to it, and it does bear mentioning. Okay, so occasionally, hold on, let me get a drink here. A little raspy. You guys can have a look at Corsair there. All right. Anyway. All right. So one of the criticisms that I've heard about this game is that it is competitively focused. And my usual response to that is, well, it's a sports game. The designers were competitive Warmahordes players that were big into the organized play scene for Warmahordes, and you do want to have a contest, right? You do want to have competition. It's geared for that, and it's an atmosphere of competition. So to call it a competitive game is not necessarily an insult. It's more of a accurate, I would say it's an accurate characterization game. But to look at it as a criticism of the game, here's what I'm coming back with. Okay, so this happened to me the other night. We played, I played 2 games of Guild Ball last night. Where'd you get that base? Oh, hold on. Let me answer that. Let me show you, dude, because it's rad. Happy Seppuku. $5, dude. $5. And I have 5 of them. I have different kinds. I can do a bunch of these as I need them. Let me know, dude, if you wanna do some basing. Anyway, so last night I played 2 games of Guild Ball, and first game I played as Philip. The very first game, I've used her, and actually I believe this is the first time I played a full 6-man butcher team. So I played Phil at the first game, and I played against Gareth, who was brand new, playing his Morticians. Well, he's not brand new. He's played about half a dozen games, but still fairly new. And we played it like a learning game. It was a very long game, like because he wanted to stop and kind of analyze and talk things through and all that stuff, which is fine. It's a learning game. But when he was done, he was way too drained to play another game. Again, I don't blame him. It was a learning game. There's a lot of analysis going on. Very deep, thinky game that we played. Then I played against Philip. Picking up here on the East Coast, nice dude. Yeah. Well, by the way, Cameron, check it out, man. Also, base stamps. I think they're sexy. I'm with my commission painting the way it is, give me a lot of money. Anyway, I know I'm all over the place. Played second game. Played my Masons. It was it got really close, rather intense game. Won the game 12-6, but just barely, just really had to eke that one out. And afterwards, again, my opponent me exhausted from playing, just played his guts out. And it was awesome. It was a great game. Both games were just fantastic. I was drained afterwards. You know what? We've been so much Guild Ball. We've been playing so hard. Really competitive. Me can stay in that spaces before I need to pull out, play something much lighter. I need a break. I need to recharge with some Relic Knights, or I need to recharge with Room 25 or something like that. And so when I hear that criticism of, well, the game is too competitive. Now I know kind of where they're going. Not much competitive, but it's bandwidth heavy. It's cerebral, intensive. Callan can hop on here and just blow all our minds with his analysis of stuff. It's a very cerebral game. Now, I always make fun of these list building games, right? Like your GW games. In any list building game. Infinity is one that I've been kind of poking fun at lately, because I liked Infinity for a very small stint at small points and whatnot. But man, guys play Infinity while I'm playing Guild Ball, and I'm like scratching my head. Why? How is this fun? These were two casual guys playing Infinity. So they break out. So they spend an hour, almost a full hour, right? Crafting a list. How do you do this? Can I add this? Can I have this guy? Can I do this? Can I do that? Set up all their terrain. Then they put down, like 12 to 20 models, something like that. And like the overwhelming majority of the casual guy aren't painted. In fact, the only painted miniatures he has is or some commission work. So I'm like, okay, so aesthetics are kind of bad. They didn't have a mat down. They were playing on paper terrain, cardboard box type stuff, which was literally cardboard boxes. Like, it wasn't like paper building terrain. Some of it was, but a lot of it was just like, here's some boxes. So right there, you have me lost on the aesthetics of the game. You're playing a game where you've had to craft a list for an hour. Now during the game, you're having to look up, okay, what does this ability do? What does this war gear do? What is this level? What's the difference between martial arts level 2 and level 3? Well, what does multispectral visor 1 do versus multispectral visor 2? How does it work in this case? Lots and lots and lots of rules, questions, and looking things up and shit and tweaking your list. And I'm like, this cannot be, I don't understand. This can't be a fun experience. And how can these guys be telling me that Guild Ball is too competitive, right? How can they be telling me that? And I started to think about it because I tell people I want to use my brain power not to remember what the hell multispectral visor 3 does. I don't need to know that shit, okay? I don't need to know the range on every single weapon, every single rifle in my army. I don't need to know how many special weapon points I have in this particular list. I don't want to know any of that stuff. I want to have cards. I want to have stat cards of stuff that explains all that stuff, that tells me the rules and empowers me to make good decisions on the board. Snap decisions, critical thinking. That's what I want. That's what I want to spend my brain power on. Well, the fact of the matter is, critical thinking, tactical thinking, on-the-fly thinking sucks up way more bandwidth than what these other guys are doing. Like, yeah, I'm making decisions. I'm making them on the fly. But it's way more brain intensive than, oh, what does multispectral visor do? Let's look it up. And is that each other casual guys? Well, I have a chance of hitting. I have a chance of doing something. Whereas in Guild Ball, if you are a really good player and you don't throttle back, you don't throttle back against a new player chance whatsoever. They're just going to be mauled. You know, same with Wormhordes. Like, brand new Wormhordes player versus competitive player, no chance in hell of winning, right? And that's where the game is too competitive comment comes in. Yeah, guys like me want to make good decisions on it as part of a game, and we want to win a game by doing that. We don't want to win a game where it's like, well, we're both rolling dice and there's a chance that, you know, something happens that the less skilled player actually has a chance of flipping the game on its head and winning a game that he shouldn't, by rights or by skill, be able to win. So that's where it's coming from. It's like, okay, I'm not going to paint all my shit. I'm going to buy stuff, not know what all my stuff does. But this D20 system, this list building system, can give me can carry enough error in it, can carry enough noise in it, such that I do stand a somewhat reasonable chance of winning. Whereas in your tightly controlled game, I'm just going to lose because I'm a casual player and you're not a casual player. So whatever. That's where it comes from. And now I'm starting to see that. So now I'm starting to be more sympathetic to the guys that say stuff like that. Like, yeah, it's for me. I'm going to say, you know what? You're probably right. If you're going to play it, if you want to play it casual, make sure that your opponent knows, hey, I just want to play a casual game. I don't want to play the super beefed up, powered up lists. So, you know, for me, like, if a more experienced player with Guild Ball, if somebody were to tell me that, then I'm more likely to take more risks than I normally would, right? I would probably take some snapshots. I would probably experiment with my team roster. I'd bring in models that, quote, the best models to bring in. And I'd experiment and have a good time and play. Still play Guild Ball in a not 100% competitive sense. But now I am starting to see where those comments are coming from. So yeah, okay, if you want to mess around with a list and hang out for an hour and describe how you rolled you rolled that 3 that you needed against the guy that needed to roll anything under 18, and you hit him and he missed you. I can see where there's some entertainment factor there, especially for casual. And casual watching me like or precisely place models as I intend them, push when I need to push, dodge when I need to dodge, momentum when I need to gain momentum. I can see. I get it now. I get where that comment comes from. I still don't 100% agree with it. I still think it's a way better gaming experience than but I do now at least understand where that comment comes from. I still say the curve for Guild Ball is steeper than Wormhorns. I totally agree with that, man. I agree with that. It is a steeper learning curve. There is a lot more nuance to building a team that fits you and playing that team, and then even within that, making the right decisions within that one card. Like here's Corsair. I know Corsair's a season 2 captain. Oh, he's still drying. Whoop. Let's move in. He's a season 2 captain, but even just being able to look at a card and have it tell you more things than somebody else due to experience and due to analysis, right? I'm just going to use him as an example here because that's what I'm painting. This is typically how I look at a stat card, right? So I start here. I look at I'm looking for specific things. One with melee range, huge, huge, I should say, huge advantage. 2-inch melee is a huge advantage. So you're looking for stuff like that. 1-inch melee, now I'm starting to think about, okay, what kind of tech do I need to get past unpredictable movement? What kind of tech do I need to give me a better threat range? To give me what kind of how does the 2-inch melee range affect my Claire counterattacks? And how does that play in with the playbook below? We'll get into that, okay? So that's what I look at immediately. Then I look at these stats, the move stat, tack, whatever. I look at kick here, 3-6 kick, right? What does 3-6 mean? Well, it's high. And when I say high, 3 is average to high. If you're 4, you're a god. But 3 kick means you have a reasonably accurate kick. 6 inches is average. Inches is above average. So this right here tells me I have an average. I have an accurate kick, but it's about average range. Your defense and arm is one package. 3-1 is not great. It's kind of a subpar package there. A lot of the average defenses are 4-0 or even 4-1. 3-1 has been on the low side, but we'll see what other kind of that thinking. What else do I have for defensive tech? Do I have hide? Do I have any kind of regeneration? Do I have any kind of self-healing? That's the stuff I look at the package there, and then the playbook analysis that happens with the playbook. I compare the tack to what my propensity is for wrapping, and then what should I be paying attention to here. So tack 6 with 6 columns. I'm 5 columns. That's good. Anytime you have a higher tack than the number of columns you have, that's good. That gives you propensity to wrap or potentially wrap. Okay, that's what I pay attention to. If the character has a long playbook, really this character is active when they're charging or trying to charge. In this case, you have a higher tack than you have a playbook, and that's good. Then the other thing I do is I take the tack half, and I look at the first half of the playbook to tell me, okay, what are the things most commonly available to this character? when they launch an attack. It's a huge thing, right? Momentous tackle on 1. That's fantastic. That means you want him near the ball. On 2. That is the titty balls right there. That's amazing, right? The momentous knockdown on 1, you have some, like Kraken and Fangtooth that are capable of that. 2 or 3. Now you're talking Brewers. Brewers are a lot of their playbooks rock this way. That's awesome. Momentous. That means, not only does that mean is really, really valuable for counterattacking down as part of a counterattack, but he's not a guy that you want to just try to get a parting blow as you're leaving. You don't want to just walk away from this dude. Knockdown on 2 is a real threat. So if you're in combat with this dude, you're probably there to stay. The other side of this, which is awesome, I love this third column here on Corsair, is badass. Okay, so you have a non-momentous 1 dodge. That's good for a counterattack again, because you can put a guy out of range after he hits you once. You can, with the exception of, say, Mallet. Single dodges are good. Double dodges are amazing. Here, really sweet as well. This is a damage with. Look at this. Is this top selection is when you're counterattacking. That's attack because you have a knockle. Say you're going after a guy who's got 30. All right. There's the 1-inch push. Great. That is awesome. And it's reliable. So basically what that's saying is you can do damage and end an engagement off a counterattack. It's also saying with that 1-inch push, oh, did I lose my connection? There we go. Got a little bit of it back. Okay. It's also saying with that inch push that this character has an insane amount of control, reliable access control, and damage in the first half of his playbook. Fantastic. First of all, how hard is it if you look at Fish playbooks, Fish aren't rocking a whole lot of momentous damage. This guy's rocking 2 momentous damage with a 1-inch push on 3 columns. That's really good. Then he's got an activatable play here out in the 4, 5, double push out here at 5. But here's this guild ball that activates Harpoon, which is pretty sweet. That can pull people in. You're not going to actually activate it much that way. You're probably going to pay the 2 when you really need a Harpoon. That's going to extend your threat range, obviously. So 6-inch sprint with a 2-inch melee plus a 4-inch. That is a 14-inch threat range. So really good stuff so far, right? Then he's got this whole stand firm, give sturdy to other models, making him really good against Brewer anti-tech. And then you look at his traits: tough hide, fantastic, sturdy, and close control. All disgusting stuff. This guy, that's all you need to know. That's all you need to know about Corsair. He's an attrition model with some really good stuff going for him. That's how I look at a single guild ball stat card. And so now you got to do that for your whole team, and you got to kind of link them all up. So I do agree. Yeah, there's a competitive aspect to it. There is a little bit of an amount of understanding you need to have when you're looking at other in your teams. So anyway, I totally get that. Okay, so I think our for long enough, and is done. There. Any? I think he came out pretty well. Really cool model. I think if you guys have any other comments or any like final thoughts, I'll give you a minute to put them in. Otherwise, it was fun to be able to ramble at you guys by myself and talk Pretzelgate. So yeah, would love to talk more Guild Ball stuff, and I absolutely will with Callan and all those guys on SoCal Guild Ball. Oh, let me show you guys something else really cool here before I head out. Okay, really cool. Another reason to attend local events. One sec. Okay, so I've been busy playing around with the logos. So here's a Play It Painted patch. Awesome, love these things. If you run into me, I should be carrying a few of these. I can do one or kick down one for you. The other thing, SoCal Guild Ball patch. I think these are really awesome. So hopefully you guys will be around to enjoy those as well. Okay, so I think that's going to do it, you guys. That'll do it for this video. All right, guys, thanks everybody for watching on the next one.